There we go.
Yeah.
I like having a TV. That's cool.
Yeah, I do too. I like
That's
that
sweet.
too. Yeah.
It was like we had the TV before, but it was an awkward spot.
It was.
This is much better because we can look at
we can look at
pretending
us
like we're looking at
while
us.
we're talking.
God, I need a haircut.
Yeah, same. I do too.
Oh my God, look at that.
Yep.
It's horrible.
Me too, man.
I apologize for my looks.
I mean, dude, I'm still in my pajamas.
Well, hey, you got some extended time off, pal.
I do. Yeah, I've not felt like doing much today, so I've just been chilling at the house.
Good.
Yeah, just hanging out. Doing some mindless tasks
There you
that
go.
don't require a whole lot of
There
thought.
you go.
How's
How's day 2?
Oh, man.
No medicine.
Day 2 of no SSRIs, so I did not sleep at all last night. I literally just stayed up all night.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that when you recorded all that music?
No. That was already done. I just
Oh,
edited some videos and
okay,
stuff,
right.
and no, that was already done.
It was good.
Thank you. Yeah, I recorded that.
I so appreciate the fact that you're putting yourself out there, like, just be like, hey, I'm just trying to improve my vocals, and like, it's pretty freaking good.
Thanks,
dude.
man. Thanks. And,
No joke.
I mean, of course, there's a minimal amount of pitch correction on it.
Right.
That goes on it. I mean, but I put that on everything that
Sure.
anybody does in my studio.
Sure.
And but I didn't like go through and edit each one of the notes that I say to be right.
Right.
I got good takes, and then just you put
Yeah,
pitch
sure.
correction on
Like
top of it
they
just to
do with anybody.
polish it off. Yeah, sure. What, dude? It kills me. Listen, especially the new country is the worst offenders of this. You can tell.
Oh yeah, because
their
it all
music
sounds the
is
same. And
so auto-tune, and not auto-tune, it's so pitch corrected, so they snap it to a grid. And the way this works is you've got a grid with all your notes in it in a chromatic scale,
right.
like from the bottom to the top. And they sing the notes, and the notes are on that grid, and they snap to the notes they're supposed to be. And without that variation, they're just... You can
Flat.
tell. You can tell that it's been
They are
done.
flat. Is what country singers are.
Yeah. And-
Country singers have a real bad time of not being high and lonesome.
Mm-hmm.
And when it gets lonesome, it gets real flat sometimes.
So, but anyway, going back to day 2 with no SSRIs, I edited some videos, and actually last night what I did was I worked out backing tracks for the Ghost Band stuff. I did some more of that, working on
Gotcha.
them. I had a lot of them already started, and I had a lot of the parts already tracked for that. So for those of you that don't know, I've got a band, a project. It's a ghost tribute band called Spirit. And, I mean, with a production like this, you have to utilize backing tracks because I can't get an orchestra or a choir to come to Spruce Pine to do a show. That's just not practical.
Right.
So what I did was I tracked all the songs from start to finish, guitar, drums, bass, keys, all of it. I tracked every bit of it. I did this last year. And then like stuff got crazy, stuff got busy, wasn't able to do a whole lot with it, so it all just sat there. So last night I did I went through and I just edited all the stuff that I'd already tracked and kind of put some polishing on it to because I can't play anything because I just had carpal tunnel surgery. So yeah, I sat in front of a computer for a while. Came down to the house about midnight out of the studio, and I tried to go to bed. I actually went to bed, and I just laid there. And finally about 3 o'clock, I was like, well, fuck it.
Here we are.
So I just got up, came in here and sat, and I just sat in the living room and watched TV until Noah got up, took him to school. And I did sleep the better part of the day, though. After I dropped Noah off from school, I slept till about 1:30. And the brain zaps are back with a binge. Even now,
Right.
just sitting here, it's just like a constant, every 2 or 3 seconds, there is a pulse of electricity that just through my brain. It's so, I don't even know how to describe it other than that. It's so bizarre.
That is really weird.
I
Is
don't
that
know.
like a known side effect?
Yeah.
It is?
It
Okay.
is, yeah. Yeah, it's very, very common. Some people experience them worse than others. The last time I lowered my dose, though, they went away after. It took about a week for everything to fully level out.
Right.
So I went from 40 down to 5, and then yesterday I went to 0.
Yeah.
From 5 to 0. So it wasn't like I went from 40 to 0.
Right.
Because we wouldn't be doing this podcast if I'd done that.
Yeah.
I'll just be honest with you.
There are some people that take some very loaded doses of stuff like that, though. It is crazy. I'm like, jeez, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Dude, 40 milligrams I thought was a high dose of Paxil. Because I think they start you on 5 or 10 and then go up from there. And I was at the max dosage. So, yeah, mania. That's something else that came back. There's been a lot of mania today.
Mania?
Like, yeah, mania.
WrestleMania?
Yeah, you know it. Nah, dude, it's just like this overwhelming, almost like an anxiety feeling that's like, I got to get everything done in the world that I want to do right now.
Right.
And then the other part of me is like, dude, you've not slept in 30 hours. Go to bed.
Right. Well, at least you're thinking clearly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the most important thing. But
yeah, I mean, like emotionally, of course, I've had a few big emotions, and it's been like just frustration and irritation.
Right.
That's been my thing.
So that's what that was whenever you were fiddling with the audio in the studio. I could hear you from my room.
When was
this? This may have been the night or before. It may have been the night before or the night before last. But yeah, I could hear you from my room even with my headphones on talking. I could still hear you.
Before we did that,
you were livid.
Remote.
What was I mad about? I don't even
about
remember.
not being able to get it to stream on Facebook.
Maybe.
I thought you were gonna like snap the desk in half.
Oh, wasn't that bad? Oh my gosh. No, because Chase was on with me the entire time. I mean, yeah, I cussed a lot, but I wasn't like.
Usually, I can never hear you though. And the first time I did, I was like, "Oh, okay." Just gonna.
I may have been yelling at the cats.
Maybe. I don't know, but I'd been a while,
Huh.
My cats are two ornery old ladies, man, and they are, I swear, they've gotten this bad habit. As of late, and this just started happening like the last couple months, well, like maybe past 6 months. They just, especially my oldest one, just lays down right where you walk.
Yeah.
And then like,
dude, Mr. Kitty does the same thing.
Precarious places where they should know that, like, hey, people walk here and I'm going to get stepped on.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like they can, I guess they can see in the dark. Maybe they just assume you can too. But like I'll walk in the house and they're literally laying right there at the door. And then I take one step and and it scares me to death. And
dude, Mr. Kitty does something very similar, only he walks in front of me and then plops in the floor, literally right in front of my feet.
That's exactly what, mine does that too. Mine does that too.
I'm a big dude. I'm going to, if I step on Mr. Kitty, he's dead. Right. I've killed my cat.
I know. I sincerely worry about it, but they do that all the time.
Yeah, mine do
I've
too.
got the other big gray puffy one, Hemi. She's the Hemingway cat. She got an extra digit on each.
Really?
Yeah, on each
Interesting.
paw. Most Hemingway cats, it's usually just on their front.
Right.
But this one, she was unique in the sense that she's polydactyl on all four.
Wow. Okay.
So, but yeah, she has like literally, she can grab you. So it's like a deposable thumb.
She's got a thumb.
It's the weirdest thing, dude.
Oh, wow.
And they're huge. I mean, she's a pretty big, sizable cat anyway, but she's like, I think she's like a Maine Coon mix of some sort.
Right.
And so she's big, pretty big, but she's also a giant fur ball.
Right.
And so they're like that, man. It's crazy. It's wild. But anyway, she's just psychotic.
Miss Kitty will grab you, but she doesn't have that extra digit. But she likes to, if I walk in the room and she's laying down, she will roll over on her back and assume the position for belly rubs.
Yeah.
And if I give her the wrong amount, like too many belly rubs, she bites me just to let me know.
Right.
But if I take my hand away too soon, she will grab my hand
and
put it back there.
Right. Cats are weird like that, man.
I looked it up the other day. I think cats have an average IQ of like 2 to 4.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know what that would equate to in humans. Maybe like an infant, maybe somewhere between an infant and a toddler.
Right.
But yeah, they have an average IQ of like 2 to 4. I saw a video today of a cat.
I thought it'd be more than that.
I did too. I really did too.
I don't know. Cats are
They're pretty smart.
pretty intelligent sometimes. I've had cats that knew how to open doors. I had a cat that knew how to open doors.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's what I was gonna say. I watched a video today of a cat literally climbing up on a counter and taking its paws and turning a doorknob and then going outside. And I was like, holy shit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I wish my cats would just take themselves outside. Just like, just open the door. Get out.
Yeah. Do you have are yours indoor, outdoor?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So mine, I'm so close to the road here. They'd be
Oh,
in
yeah,
like
yeah.
a second.
Mine's, yeah, and that's a pretty well-traveled road during the day.
It is,
Yeah.
dude. Surprisingly,
There's a lot of people live up and down through here.
This is a busy road.
Yeah, it is. It very much
Busy
is.
road.
But I don't have to worry about it too much in town. And now they're older. They were older when I went in there, so they don't really go. They're not. The highway scares them now. They don't go down there.
Right.
Then their curiosity is not nearly as much.
Well, being an older cat, I
Yeah.
can see that. Mine are in their teenage years, and they're both just so stupid.
My oldest one's got a pooch. It's where I took it to get fixed, and its incision got infected.
Oh man!
And it almost died. I mean, it
Wow.
almost died. I mean, it was pitiful. I held the thing, and I'm not like a super animal person, but like, I get, somehow they find me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And then we're attached from then on. But it's like I love cats because cats are also like, I don't want to be touched. Oh, yeah, I do, and I want to be touched all the time. No, I don't want to be. And that's the way I am. I'm like, don't come near me or come here and I'll love on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, it's just don't. I ain't got time.
Is that why you won't let me near you? You just want me to love on you all the time.
I keep everybody at arm's length.
You know, I'm like that too. I'm definitely a cat person more than a dog person. Cats,
Me too.
well, cats are easier
Yeah.
than dogs. Dogs require a lot more of
Yeah.
lot more attention and a lot more just care. Cats, they're easy, man. I mean, even indoor cats. Like I scoop their litter box once a day. That's about it. I mean, I know a lot of people are averse to that because you have to literally scoop their shit out.
I know. I don't like that about it either.
Care. It don't bother me. I'd rather do that every day than it stink.
I'll tell you one thing. It's so funny being that they're indoor, outdoor cats. Mostly now they go in the litter box just because it's like I don't want to have to go out there and fool with all that.
Like, it's cold outside.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
exactly.
go
That's exactly
outside.
what it is. That's exactly what it is. But they every now and then they'll go outside. When they do, I've realized now the grass is coming in. I have these weird random really green spots in my front yard, and it's kind of shaded, so it's kind of. It takes it a while to fill in the side yard part, which is the biggest portion of it. It fills in pretty good, but I was like, why do I have all these random green spots? And it's the only places that the two cats
They would go to the
shit.
bathroom.
Yeah,
they're shitting there.
yeah. There's two places, and they're just a green spot, and both of them go there. I've just happened to notice them recently. I'm like, wait a minute. You both go in the same spot in the yard. It's like they have their litter box in the yard. That's what it is. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway,
Cats are like that, man. And dogs, I don't know. I've never experienced this. I've never experienced a cat that would just like piss or shit in the house.
right.
Not in the litter box.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and again, Mr. Kitty will pee. Like if I let his litter box go and don't scoop it or something to his liking,
Yeah.
he will pee under the recliners.
Right.
That's his spot, and I guess that's where he thinks the other litter box is.
Right.
But I don't know. Cats don't bark either.
Now you're hitting on some critical shit.
Cats don't bark.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I mean, if there were a dog,
I have some strong feelings on dogs, Josh.
yeah, okay,
I'll be 100% honest with you.
man.
They're I've figured out over the years though that they're
they're unconstitutional.
they're not unconstitutional. They're very unpopular.
Oh, your opinions about dogs?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. People love dogs.
People
love dogs. And not
Let me
cats
tell you
so
something about
much.
dog people, son.
Dude.
I am. It's
say
just
it.
like you were the
Say
other
it.
night when
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to say this because I'm going to get in trouble. I'll put it this way. if every dog on planet Earth ceased to exist,
You'd be cool with it.
I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say I want to kill all dogs.
Right.
Because obviously I'm not pro-death of any animal,
Right,
senseless death.
Right.
I'm not like advocating it. We just mow them down with machine guns
Sure.
or anything like that and just blow them into smithereens
Right.
with 50 cows. But
Dogs.
maybe I wouldn't stop it if it was like I wouldn't go out of my way to stop it if it was
like, whoa,
if there was a
hang on
cat
here.
if there was a dog mass murder going on.
You'd be like,
I'd be like, I'm indifferent on this. Where when you say you're agnostic, I would be agnostic.
you'd be like, well, I can't really prove or disprove there was a dog murder.
That being said, I'm fine with dogs. Other people's dogs. I don't want a dog. I understand a lot of people get very attached. They are, and I can see how they can be a companion.
Sure.
I think I'm speaking from a place where I had a lot of kids,
That seems
that I've
yeah.
raised, and it seems like another responsibility that I'm just not willing to take on.
It's a responsibility closer to that of a child than a cat.
Yes.
Cats, you can kind of just like, you don't know they're there unless they like. Some of my friends have come over and still never seen my cats because when people come here, they're gone.
Yeah.
You don't know they're here.
See, I have my cats are very opposite of yours in that way. Well, one of them is. The other, she'll like come out to see what's going on, but she's not skittish, but she's like, just leave me alone. Somebody tries to show her attention. But the other one, that's all she wants. Especially if it's a female. Oh my God. Like Laura's like deathly allergic to cats, so
I had two.
Yeah, I am too. I just have to be around it until I can get used. So I've gotten used to mine, but all that my cat wants is for Laura to be. Oh, and she can't.
She can't.
I know.
I was like that bearded dragon. That thing was so cool, and I wanted to, but dude, I couldn't.
Yeah,
couldn't.
I know.
Beardies take a lot of work. They're
That's what Laura was telling me.
They're pretty
That yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
They're a pretty involved animal. The snakes are kind of like cats.
Yeah.
I don't really, they're maybe a little more dangerous, but they're
You think?
a little bit. But yeah, I don't have to spend a whole lot of time out there tending to them.
So when was your first foray into the reptile world at all? Like,
when my ex brought home, she wanted some snakes, and at that point I was like completely anti-snake.
Right.
I was very much of the opinion that the only good snake is a dead snake.
Right.
Which I obviously have a much different opinion now. But I had all this just ignorant beliefs about them that weren't true. And, my mind is open to new evidence pretty much with anything.
Right.
If I'm presented with evidence that my beliefs that I hold loosely are wrong, I will change my mind based on that evidence. And those snakes were wonderful. They had great personalities. I became quite attached to one of them because I helped care for it when it was sick. She was working, I was working nights, and she would come home, and I don't know, I just kind of took the initiative and was like, I'm going to learn how to assist feed and all this stuff. So, not that she wasn't taking care of her snakes, because she was. She was fantastic when it comes to taking care of her animals. But I just took the initiative to take care of this one python and got it eating again on its own. And
that was Nagini?
Ka.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that was Ka. Yeah, Ka went off food for a long time. Like, we thought she was going to die. So then I was like, okay, I started watching reptile channels on YouTube. I started watching Brian Barch. Started watching the Florida Snake Bros, so Chandler's Wildlife, Stone's World, which I got a message from Stone. We're going to be talking to him soon.
Sweet.
That's going to be cool. Tyler Nolan, started watching the Florida Snake Bros. Then I started watching other channels, started learning about reptiles, learning about snakes specifically, because I became very interested in them very rapidly. And I was like, I think I'm gonna get one. So I got a cottonhead.
So that was your first.
Yep. Ninny Muggins.
Yeah, that was your first
That was my
venomous.
first venomous.
I got you.
Yep.
Did you have any besides the ball pythons? Did you have any other before? Any other non-venomous before that? Yeah.
No. Nope. Started with a pit viper, and then branched out from there with a pit viper. I didn't get into elapids until I got the coral cobra, so I got a few pit vipers under my skin before I dealt with an elapid. And I dipped my feet into the elapid world with the coral cobra. They're a good starter elapid because a bite from them is probably not going to kill you. It's definitely has the potential to, as any snake bite has the potential to. But the coral cobra has such a cool personality. Now, there's been a few times where he's been like, "Hey, I don't really like you for some reason for a week or two at a time." But generally, I mean, to this day, I free handle him. He's the only one that I don't ever do that. Never free handle a snake. But he's got the coolest little personality.
Yeah.
But yeah, snakes are really, they're so misunderstood. So misunderstood.
Sure. Well, there's like something like inbuilt primal fear that humans have.
There are, and I totally get that.
Of snakes. And I don't know. I don't know if that's. What do you think? That's like a cultural thing, or do you think
it is? I was taught to be terrified of them, and I love my mom and dad. Mom, dad, I love you both, but y'all raised me to be terrified of snakes, and I understand why. Why, because they are dangerous. But there's, dude. Let's see. I looked it up the other day. In the past 100 years, there have been 3 deaths from a copperhead bite in the United States, and of those three, 2 of them were in the early 1900s and were possible rattlesnake bites. They don't even know, or moccasin bites. They don't even know that it was a copperhead.
Right.
But Wikipedia said copperhead, moccasin, or rattlesnake. It could have been one of those 3. They just know it was an American pit viper.
Right.
That's the past 100 years.
So, like a cottonmouth is more dangerous than a copperhead, right?
Yeah, their venom is a lot more toxic than a copperhead.
Yeah.
It is.
I got you.
So, yeah, they're not that scary. They're really not. And the cure for fear is education.
Sure.
When you learn about something, the more you learn about it, the less you fear it because you understand it. You understand his behaviors. You understand that it doesn't smell like cucumbers. It smells like hot garbage. Have you heard that about copperheads?
I would, until you told me that, I had never heard it, but I've asked several people if they've ever heard that, and they've said, yeah, for sure.
I don't know where that came from. Have no idea.
Yeah.
But that's not at all the case. Maybe rotten cucumbers.
Right.
Like cucumbers that have been in the hot sun fermenting and rotting for 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
With some baby shit mixed in with it.
Yeah.
That's what it smells like.
That ball python, man, it doesn't.
They don't really musk or anything like that.
No, they don't at all, actually. That's what I guess makes them such a great pet snake. I mean,
they're great starters.
Yeah.
Great starters.
Boy, that one I have, man, it has a crazy feeding instinct, though, man, for live mice. It is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes right for them. I mean, it don't waste 2 seconds now that it's kind of gotten comfortable to its environment. I mean, we have.
Yep. Yeah, they're.
And a super good snake. It just has a real good demeanor. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just real curious. It wants to crawl everywhere.
Snakes have 3 modes. They have feeding mode, thinking mode, and defensive mode.
Right.
That's their 3 modes of being.
Right.
Some snakes will exhibit more of those than others.
Right.
A lot of my snakes have crazy feeding responses. Ninny Muggins, the cottonhead, insane feeding response. If I walk in that room, he's like my damn cats. If I walk in there, he thinks he's getting fed.
Right.
Yeah. He's got a crazy feeding response. The cobra, Mo, the big monocle cobra, has a massive. I have to feed him now with the big long blue tongs. I can't use the normal long 2-foot forceps.
Yeah.
Because it was a couple of weeks ago I was feeding him, and he shot out past the mouse on the forceps, and open mouth, like to grab food, his snout hit my hand. Like the tip of his nose hit my hand. Dude, it was so scary. I was like,
Ooh.
oh, shit. So, yeah, I don't use those anymore with him. I use the long 4-foot tongs. Because he shot out of that damn enclosure like a rocket and went right past the mouse.
That's wild, dude.
Right past it. But he's albino. Albino snakes can't see very well, if at all. So, I mean, he's basically blind.
Right, so he's just going for whatever looks pink. Yeah.
And
Or flesh colored.
whatever he thinks is food, he's going to go for it. So, that bite would have been 100% on me because I know he's albino. I know his eyesight's crap. I should have been using the 4-foot tongs to begin with him.
Right.
But I wasn't, so... most of the time when bites happen, it's user error. But
what would a monocle cobra bite be like?
So a monocle cobra bite.
Of course, all of them can be dry bites.
Sure.
So
now that one with a feeding response, generally they're not going to be because they're going to dump if they're eating, they're going to dump venom in whatever they're eating because they think they have to kill it. A defensive bites are generally dry bites. I'm trying to think. Now, that one possibly could have been a dry bite because he had already bitten the mouse a few times.
Right.
So I don't know how much venom he had left in his venom glands, if any. But basically, if I were to be envenomated by him, I would immediately put him in his enclosure, lock it up, grab my tourniquet. I'd tourniquet off my entire hand, probably at the wrist. If he got me on the finger, I might tourniquet off the finger. I have small and large tourniquets. So I would do that, grab my bite protocol, run in the house, go to my fridge, grab my anti-venom, and get down to the hospital.
Can you inject yourself?
No, it's got to be it's got to be
an IV.
Yeah, it's got to be administered through IV drip. So yeah, I've got a Tupperware in there of that would be the Thai Red Cross anti-venom, and I've got 20 vials of that. So that's what I would grab, and I would take my snake bite protocols, and I'd be like, "Hey, help!" And bless her heart, Tessie at the ER, she would look at me and be like, "Oh no, you've brought the book again." Yeah. So as far as what the venom would do, it's primarily a neurotoxic venom. It shuts down your nervous system and you can't breathe.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah. So that's most of your elapids are neurotoxins. So, and that's the whole point of the tourniquet. Neurotoxic venom, I would want to tourniquet off so it doesn't travel through my body, and I would not release the tourniquet until they started anti-venom.
Right.
So I may lose a finger, but I'm not going to die.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you find yourself being any more cautious now that you're not on the SSRIs?
No, I'm already pretty cautious
Sure.
to begin with.
I'm sure you were. I mean, I just noticed
yeah.
you've noticed any difference in your fear or anything like that.
No, not with them. I haven't noticed any difference in that whatsoever, actually. And I'm sure a lot of people probably think that the reckless, on my post earlier, the reckless behavior I was referring to is buying cobras and mambas and stuff. No, that's not it at all.
Right.
I don't think that's got any. There's no correlation there at all. I truly believe that is from the removing the extraction of my adrenal glands.
Oh, sure.
I'm not afraid of
them.
Yeah. That has a lot to do with that.
Right.
I would say, but no change there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is. It is because I wouldn't want to have all these snakes and be like, all of a sudden, be like, oh God, I can't. No, I'm still super.
You're very safe with them. I will say that.
Yeah.
Very cautious.
I use my tools, man. I use my gloves. I don't do anything stupid. I don't go out there and just get the cobra out and I'm like, whoa, look at this.
Right.
I do interact with them on a regular basis. The ones that will tolerate it. But you got to be smart about it.
You're not just hanging out with the mamba, though.
No. She's in her enclosure. That's her world, and she loves it there, and I love her being in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I take extra precautions with her. So, she's got her lock box,
Yeah.
a trap box. If I need to give her water, service her cage, or whatever, I wait till she goes in that.
I got you.
Close it with a hook, lock it, she can't come out. Then I can do whatever
Yeah.
I need to. So, yeah, it's a great way to stay in shape.
Great way to stay in shape. You got to be in shape.
I'll tell you one thing. Going back to the SSRI thing, I don't have nowhere near the appetite I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Dude, I know
I think SSRIs are kind of notorious for upping your appetite.
like crazy.
Yeah, and lowering your metabolism, too.
Yeah, like crazy. I wanted to eat constantly, just snack constantly.
Yeah. That's
And
crazy.
That's completely gone. I think today I've had like one sandwich and maybe a pack of crackers. That's it. And that is
I don't have a huge appetite. I don't know.
really.
I think if I could probably get my metabolism up, I'd probably just lose some weight naturally, honestly.
I could probably eat the house down if you give me a week.
Oh, sure. At your age, God.
Well, yeah.
You're a eating machine.
You
right
are
now,
an eating
Noah.
machine.
Yeah. That's what you're built to do, to eat.
Eat and grow.
And grow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, put my camera on me. Going back to like the dogs thing. I do not care if I'm 7 or 82 or, an adult. I will never allow a dog in this house.
Well, this is my house, Noah. Okay, first of all, Noah. So Noah has a phobia of dogs.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. What? I wonder what that's called. What is the phobia? of dogs?
Cynophobia.
Cytophobia.
Cynophobia.
Cyno.
Cynophobia, yeah.
Huh.
I have a, deathly fear of dogs.
He does. Little dogs, big dogs, it don't matter.
Was it from an incident of some sort?
Yeah, I got nipped when I was really young.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a bad one. It was Kim brought home this blue healer, my sister, and why I'll never know, but
Right.
she brought home a blue healer and it nipped Noah on the ankle. And since then, we need to work on that. Actually, we need to work on that. Maybe with some immersion therapy. We'll do you like I did with the snakes. We'll just immerse you into the canine world, and you can learn all about them. And
I'll pass.
they're not that bad.
I'd agree with you, though. I don't blame you at all. I don't have a phobia of them at all, but God, we did have some asshole dogs in our neighborhood growing up, though.
Really?
Oh, my God, yeah. There was one that lived on the corner, and it was, directly between me and Daniel Buchanan's house. And this one, it was just this crazy. And all it wanted to do, every time you were riding a bike, it would ride out and, nib the tires. And then, it was vicious. It was, actively trying to bite somebody. And it did. It bit me one time. And finally, I told the girl that owned it, I was like, listen, I'm telling you right now, that dog comes at me. It bit me the last time, and I'm carrying a baseball bat, and I'm going to whack it. And I did exactly that.
I don't blame
about a
you.
week later. Yeah. And she got all kinds of mad, and I was like, I told you. Either put the dog on some sort of leash or something, but if it tries to nip at me again, I'm going to hit it with this baseball bat. I absolutely did, and I'm pretty sure I made it probably a little – it probably lost some intelligence. Let's just say that.
Mine had some permanent brain
Yeah, but-
injury, head trauma from
But,
that.
I feel like that's just don't let – if your dog is actively trying to bite me, I'm going to –
Well, yeah, you got to
especially if I've said something
Like,
about it, you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
care if it's a dog or a cat or whatever it is. If
Yeah.
it's attacking me, all bets are off.
Yes, exactly.
All bets are off.
You ever been attacked by a cat?
No, not really.
You ever been attacked by a goose?
I've been chased by a goose, but never been attacked.
Oh, I got attacked by one.
Really?
Yeah, we were on vacation and I got attacked by one. Oh, yeah, it was bad.
They're vicious.
Actually,
man.
I have a bad habit of getting attacked by avian things of the avian variety. Yes. In particular, waterfowl.
Oh, yeah?
And then the other one was I was in Mexico with mom and dad in Cancun, Mexico, and they have these hotels, and they'll have a cockatoo or some parrot, up front, and everybody gets their picture taken with it or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They put that cockatoo on my shoulder, and right as they were getting ready to take the picture, it lit into my ear and was biting my ear. Actually, Cancun trip all across the board was a terrible trip.
Really?
I had to go to the ER twice while I was there. I believe I went for the bird to get like a...
One was an animal attack.
Yeah, for my ear. I don't think it was like stitches or anything, but I think, if I remember correctly, I think they might have given me some sort of shot.
Right.
So, and then I was there after that because I had a reaction between lime juice. I loved to eat limes at the time. And I had one of those swim-up bars, and I would just go up there and grab the limes. They just had them laying in like a thing. And I had a reaction between that and salt water and sun, and it broke out in like these leprous welts.
Oh, my God.
Like all damn, yeah, and I had to go get a cream for that. Oh, it was awful. And then when I got back, I had the stomach virus for 2 weeks.
Oh, my God.
You in Mexico have beef.
Oh, it was bad. Yeah, I haven't been back since then. Mom and Dad went back like 2 years later to Acapulco.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you want to come? I'm like, hell no, I ain't going.
A friend of mine just went to Mexico, and she came back, and I was like, how was your trip? She's like, it was great until I ate some street food, and I got sick. And I was like, oh, shit.
It's not good. I think it's still that way even today.
Yeah.
That
See,
was
I
way
would
back.
totally want to eat street food in Mexico. Street tacos sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah. I think you might be fine if it was like in Mexico City or somewhere. You know what I mean? Like Mexico City is very much like an international city. And, you know, I think it's when you get out
Yeah.
that it can get a little sketchy. You're best to stick to like the resort and places where there's like strict food
Man, I see like
service guidelines.
all these Facebook reels and TikTok videos and YouTube shorts of these people in like Indonesia and Iraq and all these third world countries making street food, India, and oh man, it's I don't know. I couldn't do it. I could not eat it.
Really?
No, I couldn't.
Why?
I couldn't.
I mean, if they're making it with their like feet or something,
They're
yeah.
making it with their bare hands, and I don't know. It's just being cooked on the street. It just looks dirty. It looks everything about it looks dirty, and just gives me the willies.
I try to think about. I would probably try to think about Anthony Bourdain. You know, he would be like, fuck it.
I know
Let's
he's
eat
dead
it.
now. Look at him. He's gone.
Don't joke about that, Josh. I cried a little when Bourdain
Oh, I
left
loved
us.
Anthony Bourdain. Yeah,
He
me
was
too.
awesome, man.
He was.
I really loved his show, Parts Unknown, on CNN.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man!
It was great.
It was not just he was great, but like the crew that he had working with him.
Yeah.
Which you know that girl, that Marianne, what's her name? That's always on Rogan that does the traffic show.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Oh, Marianne.
It seems like it's Marianne something.
Mariana Cross.
But she has a lot of Anthony Bourdain's old crew that worked on that show. That's why that show looks so good. But the cinematography was incredible on that show. Every time I watch it, I'm like, this is like watching a piece of art.
Mariana Van Zeller.
Yes, Mariana Van Zeller. Yeah. That's very interesting. You watch any of that traffic show?
I've not.
Very interesting. Very interesting. She's investigated everything from like the illegal pet trade,
Really?
exotic, like tiger trade, of course, all kinds of drug. You know, she's like embedded with the cartel. You know, I mean, pretty crazy. All these war torn war zones, and you know, it kind of covers the whole gamut of all that sex trafficking and things like that. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Anything to do with like that world, I don't want. Oh, it's okay. That's cameras. It's on, but we're not using it. I was just messing with it earlier to like get some different camera angles or whatever.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, the whole world is crazy. Yeah.
yeah, I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I'll take my green mambas and my black mambas and my cobras any day of the week over getting even the slightest, tiniest little bit involved with any kind of cartel, gang, anything like that. I want nothing to do with that.
Well, I mean, she does it under very like journally. I mean, she's very tight-lipped apparently about her sources and
She would have to
the
be,
people
but
that she's
dude,
dealing with. But
even-
like, she goes undercover, or goes undercover with these people. Like she's
Yeah.
built up some sort of rapport, and then she'll go and find like the farm, like go be with a poppy seed farmer and like watch what it's like to like, and why investigate the reasons why they're doing it, why they're it's very interesting, very cool. I like her a lot.
I need to check that out. That's scary to me. That's scary to me.
Yeah.
I am way more afraid of people than animals.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
See, I would love to do that. That would get my juices going. I'd be
Really?
like, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, I would do something like that.
That's
If I had an opportunity to like go and like be, experience something crazy like that. No, of course, as like not that I'm a journalist, but, and then wrote about it afterwards or, I think it would be really cool.
That would be really cool. And I would love to do that about a lot of topics. But anything involving any kind of human trafficking, drug trafficking, or any of that world, I will stay. I've spent too much time on live leaks and see what these people do to people.
Oh, I know. It's awful.
Good.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I'm still, to this day, shocked how no animal is as scary as what humans can actually think and do.
Mm-hmm. It's largely true.
Yeah. I mean, at least if an animal's, like, killing you, it's probably to eat you.
Right. Yeah, they're not just killing you indiscriminately.
No.
Like, humans can just kill you for no reason. Just
Or
because
over
it's so
prejudices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or for monetary gain.
Or
Humans kill for a variety of
for
scary
initiation
reasons.
rights
Yes.
into a gang or
Yeah.
something like, yeah. No. Did you see the video of the kids getting stabbed in the river by that old dude? Oh my God, dude! I don't know. I've seen like a lot of different opinions about this, but apparently, from what I can gather, there was an older guy. He was in a river or a lake somewhere. This was in the States, and some kids were giving him the business, like aggravating him and making fun of him. And I think one of them might have like smacked him or something, and he stabbed and killed 2 of them. They were like teenagers.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, dude. Like, literally, like, in the video, like, one of them's guts are coming out into the water. And I was like, holy smokes. Yeah. I don't know.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's been a pretty big topic on Twitter the past 36 hours.
See, I don't see any of that. I have a whole different Twitter than you. This is why I say I think
My Twitter is a dumpster fire.
Dude, I think you
nightmare fuel.
curate your Twitter, dude.
Well,
I
that's
swear, I don't see
probably- I'm
any of
sure.
that. Now, I see some crazy stuff, like, especially like insane reality leaks or whatever, like that type of thing. Like, some of those are crazy. I saw this video of somebody that, of course, they're going 1,000 miles an hour on a bike through, like, the English countryside.
Oh, no.
And they come up above, then they just took one wrong turn, and here goes one of them flying. I mean, and they're going 200 miles an hour, like insane, like craziness.
Dude. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I get. I don't get the violence.
I get all of it. I get all of it. I get the violence. I get the the crazy stuff like that. I get all the political dysfunction, and dude, there are some people that literally tweet all day. It's all
know.
they do.
I know. It's like, do you do anything else but this?
No, I swear to God,
That's
they
crazy.
don't. They don't.
It's crazy.
They
See
spend-
where Elon was warring with that Brazilian judge or whatever? Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, basically the Brazilian government. It's the Supreme Court, like Chief Justice, I believe, of the Brazilian Supreme Court, is basically going after Twitter to ban certain politicians, like censor certain politicians
Oh.
in Brazil, because the Supreme Court voted that in an election season you can censor hate speech, quote unquote, and fake news.
Oh. Misinformation.
Misinformation, yes. And basically Elon's like, no.
Yeah. Good
And
for
he's
him.
like, let's debate it in public. Here's what he published what they're asking him to do and everything. Good for Elon.
Yeah, good for him. He's a very polarizing figure nowadays. Like, I know a lot of people used to be huge Elon fans, and I guess since he's kind of gotten red pilled, they're not so much anymore. But
Well, it's hard to. He's got a unique position because he's hard to deny.
I know.
Because I mean, the guy is literally single-handedly, nearly. I mean, that's obviously a giant overstatement, but you know, he has great people that work under him. I will say that. But as a visionary and a leader, if you want to, whatever that's worth, I mean, he is single-handedly changing mankind.
I mean, I just call them racist because, I mean, he's a very successful African American, and they're clearly racist for wanting to deny him
Right.
The fruits of his labor.
Exactly.
That has to come from a very privileged perspective.
It does. Exactly. He is an African American.
He is.
Proud African American.
Yes. He legit is.
Yep.
But that doesn't matter.
I find him. I understand why he's polarizing, but I respect the hell out of somebody in that position taking a stand.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I will remember forever. I mean, he's had a lot of epic moments, but
he has
that when he's like, "Let me make this clear: go fuck yourself. You're gonna blackmail me for money."
Amazing. Good
like,
for him.
let me be perfectly clear:
Good
go
for him.
fuck yourself.
Good for him.
And that guy, I don't even know what to say, and is trying to catch him. And he's like, "No, go fuck yourself."
That's hilarious.
I love that.
Good for him, and that's a very principled stance.
Well, it is. I mean, yes, that's sure. Is it vulgar to some people? Yes, but that is a very important moment.
Yeah,
Honestly,
It
it really is.
really
Like,
is.
I really do think that because it's finally somebody is like, "No,
yeah.
I'm not doing this. I'm not putting up with this. I'm not."
And see, they did this with COVID. They did this with the 2016 election. They did this with the 2020 election. They did the same stuff here. They just I mean, they did Twitter. You know, the Twitter files or the Twitter gate or whatever. You know, and it was like, oh yeah, the DOJ and the CIA and the FBI and all the other alphabet agencies may have worked with some of the social media companies to kind of squash some opinions from certain people we didn't like, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing, and that's such a slippery slope too, because once you start labeling things as disinformation, misinformation, or hate speech, the list is endless. You could literally say anything that your opponent says is hate speech.
Yeah,
and that's what they do. That's what they
exactly.
do. That's what the right and the left does. I am.
Well, it's those types of terms shouldn't be associated with any sort of like political policy,
right,
because they're completely objective or subjective, rather.
Yeah,
they're completely subjective. You know, laws. I mean, even the Constitution. Doesn't the Constitution say something about laws have to be clear and to where like the common man can understand what's being asked of them?
Yeah.
And when you start putting those subjective terms in there, it just automatically becomes, well, it whatever you're using it for,
right,
whoever you're using it to persecute. Yeah. What happens is when the opposite person gets into office, they're going to use the same thing to persecute you.
And see, that's the thing. That's what we're so short-sighted. Both parties, both sides are so short-sighted that they don't understand, both the right and the left. They don't understand, or if they do, they ignore it or pretend like they don't. Whatever you do, to your political opponent, however far you shift the Overton window, the pendulum is going to swing back the other way.
Yes, it is.
And you're setting precedent, sometimes legal precedent. So
oftentimes legal precedent.
So to think that your opponents, which I don't like using that word because they shouldn't be opponents, they should be
their fellow countrymen.
Two parties working together for the betterment of the American people, but we know that's a joke. But dude, the right has went off the rails recently too, with the whole like Candace Owens stuff, with the Israel. There's very clear lines in the sand that are being drawn, especially with the Israel-Gaza. Dude, the right has this boner for Israel that I do not understand.
Right.
I do not understand. And it's so clearly split between right left lines. Who's going to support Israel? Who's going to support Hamas? I say turn it all to glass.
Be one way to fix the problem. I did support dog genocide earlier, so
turn it all to glass.
There can't be a problem if everyone's dead.
Yeah. I don't know. It's problems like that. I mean, everybody's like, well, I don't know if we can ever fix it. Well, yeah, of course you can fix it. The problem is it requires compromise on both sides.
Right, and that will never
compromise
happen.
that nobody in either one of those would be willing to
because
to
they've
take.
both been divinely given this land that they're fighting
Right.
over. And once you bring that into it, all bets are off.
And ironically, the person that got the absolute closest, arguably, was Donald Trump.
I know, with the Abraham Accords.
Yeah.
And even still, like, he was really pro-Israel. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, we have this thing with Israel that I'm a little, I don't know. There's more there going on than meets the eye.
I think there is. I think you have to be careful what you hear on both sides, honestly, too, because I think there's a lot of bullshit going on in that, especially now that it's in the court of public opinion and everybody can see it on their phone. There's a lot of controlling of narratives going on both sides. And if you notice it reads the whole conflict to me. If you just take the news portion of it for what it is, the whole conflict to me reads like a tabloid like publication. It's Hamas or the Palestinian side is like, oh my God, they bombed a hospital, and the Israeli side is like, oh my God, they have military tunnels under it. Yes, and then it's these a lot of outrageous claims being flung around. There's a lot of posturing on both sides. There's a lot of sucking up to whoever they think is going to give them or their support. I don't even know how much of it even relate. If I had to really guess, I would bet that you would have a completely different takeaway on the story if you could go to the Palestinian side and then to the Israel side and not meet with people that are invested in either one of them, but just people that are on the streets. That's like, I'm an Israeli.
Yeah.
Like, I would say you would get a completely different story, and that maybe even the actual story of what it's really like to live there. You know,
well, I mean, we've got such a propaganda war going on right now. Who knows what to believe?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, you know, how do I sleep at night knowing that the people who largely call us as Americans either infidel or goyams are wiping each other out? And it's like, well, I sleep pretty good knowing that, because neither one is a group, neither one like us.
All right.
They just don't. And that's fine. That's fine. But as long as as long as we can fight a proxy war and keep feeding the military-industrial complex, we're good. We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care. What was that?
I think it's a really strange thing to watch, like, two conflicts vie for media attention too.
Yeah, because you got the Ukraine-Russia conflict, then you got the Gaza.
And if you even notice, they try to one each other. That whole thing tries to one, like like they try to make one look. It's like, oh my God, don't forget about us. And now all the money will stop coming. Like,
right.
We finally did it. We started going to war for clout.
Yeah.
Oh, that's arguably that's what every war has been about.
Yeah.
Other cloud resources, arguably, but yeah, it's in the age of social media.
Yeah, no joke. Hey, you want to take a quick break?
Yeah,
I got
to
to pee so bad.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll come back and talk about
Yeah, we'll just edit this out.
police.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about the police.
Let's talk about the police.
Exactly.
And we're back.
And we're back. Now, I wanted to cover the whole policing topic because I feel like we would be amiss if we didn't.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to wade in those waters because it is real loud on social media right now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
real loud.
About the
And
local thing.
About the local,
yeah,
the incident at Walmart. And like I told you the other day, I'm not 100% sure that I've watched that video, the one video that's been released, which is, I guess, of the Walmart surveillance camera.
I don't think I've even seen
You
that.
haven't seen it? You can pull it up.
Yeah, you want to pull it up, Noah? Pull it up, Jamie.
Video you will only see right here on News 13 sheds new light on an under investigation police incident in Spruce Pine.
Now, the family of Dylan Ledford is calling the officers' actions into question. Ledford stopped at Walmart for a diabetic emergency, but the evening ended in an arrest.
And tonight, investigative reporter Jennifer Emmert takes the surveillance video to a use of force expert for reaction to the officer's response.
Dylan Ledford's girlfriend may explain it best.
Because he has no recollection of what actually happened, like bits and pieces, like small things.
On the phone, Dylan, a type 1 diabetic, told Leslie he was stopping at Walmart because his blood sugar was low. A surveillance camera catches him parking in Walmart's online shopping area. Over 8 minutes, Ledford enters the store and returns. Still parked 40 minutes later, employees call police, telling 911, quote, he's just got big buggy eyes and is not answering anybody and is twitching. Within 12 minutes, 3 officers arrive, and in less than 4 minutes, they're pulling him from the car, striking and tasing him.
And when people started explaining to me what they seen, I was like, hold on.
The family questions the use of force. I took the video to the University of South Carolina's faculty director for the Excellence in Policing and Public Safety program, Seth Stoughton.
So for officers to be standing and spending time sort of right outside the driver's door without standing behind the B-pillar, it would generally suggest that either they're not using good tactics or they feel like the situation is pretty safe.
He says officers should be running a mental checklist.
Officers know that they're not doctors, they're not paramedics, they can't diagnose anyone. So as the general rule in policing, we tell officers when it could be a medical emergency, you treat it like it is a medical emergency, because the consequences of treating it like it's not are potentially fatal.
But records show paramedics were never called. Instead, this.
Oh, they're now opening the door and they are doing a full-on vehicle extraction. Badly. They're just brute forcing the guy out of the car, which is not how you're supposed to do a vehicle extraction, but all right, it looks like motorist is down. Oh, those are punches. Yeah, that's a lot of punches, actually.
While it's tough to see in the video, Ledford's family says injuries indicate he was drive-stun tased. That's using the taser pressed against the body 3 times.
And if they used the taser in a situation where the motorist was not a threat of physical harm, where he was not apparently trying to hurt the officers or another person in some way, yes, that could be excessive.
As for the strikes,
after he stops punching, his leg comes in once or twice. I can't tell on the video whether he's actually kicking or kneeing the person or not. I can tell from the video those sure look like punches or some kind of potentially open hand or closed hand strike. I can't tell from the video which that is. Whether that's excessive or not really depends on a couple of factors. One is it a closed hand strike or an open hand strike? The other is, where is he hitting the individual?
According to Seth Stoughton, what officers said to Ledford also matters. With no audio, I requested the incident report, which should include the officers' accounts. When I showed him what Spruce Pine sent,
They like the black highlighter there, huh? Oh my God, the whole thing? That's functionally useless. This is a description of what the officers did. I don't know what you're going to contaminate or compromise by releasing the officer's account of what they did in this situation when that's what you're actually investigating. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Stoughton also raises concern with the minute and a half Ledford is left handcuffed on his stomach.
This is a potential for positional asphyxia, right? This officer who stays with him is either kneeling on him or next to him. If the officer is on him, see how the officer is leaning forward right there and looks like a hand on his back? If the officer is putting weight on his back, with either his hands or potentially with a knee, that's a potentially dangerous position to be in.
Is this an excessive use of force?
It's really tough to say just on the basis of this video.
However, he does feel it should be reviewed.
There's a good reason to look really hard at this. Might be fine, but there's at least a good reason to look very critically and figure out exactly what happened, because it might be fine, but it also might really not be okay.
I reached out to District Attorney Seth Banks to see where the investigation stands. He told me it's still an active investigation, and until he has an opportunity to review the investigative findings, he couldn't comment. Jennifer Emmert, News 13.
We should also note, according to Spruce Pine, no police officers for the town are currently on a term of suspension.
Couple of things. I think that the redacting, I mean, why even send it at that point?
Just maybe because they're...
What I would have done is, at least to appear transparent, be like, call the people and be like, look, you know, I can send you what we got, but the entire thing is going to be redacted because of X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the video has obviously been released. So why not release the account? That's what I don't understand.
Well,
and there could be a reason.
There
for
could
that.
be. There could be reasons for that. There could.
And
be.
if there is, they should have said it in the story, because that just actively makes it look bad.
Yes,
you know?
it does. And the police department should say the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
The police department should
and if they did, they should have again said it on the story.
Included it in the story.
Right.
Yeah, it's so hard, man, because this is one of those things. And look, I'm not anti-cop. We need police officers.
Absolutely,
we need good police officers. We need good, highly trained police officers. What we have, generally, America as a whole, is not that.
I don't disagree with you. Now, I do think there's a lot of great police departments.
There's a lot of great police officers. I'm not throwing off on any of the local cops. I know the majority of them. They're great people. They really are good people.
And it's hard. I mean, being a cop's hard. Nobody's going to pretend like it's, especially as of late, has gotten exponentially more difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
And I understand they're no different than any other career.
Mm-hmm.
They're actively looking for people to do it, especially now. Nobody wants to be a cop.
Yeah.
And so you end up hiring a bunch of young bucks.
Yeah. Well,
I anticipate, I know at least one of the individuals involved here, I know is very young.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, was bagging my groceries.
Yeah.
Last year.
Here's the thing. It's, how do I say this? You've got two camps. You've got Team A, Team B. Team A is back the blue no matter who, no matter what.
Right.
That's wrong. Team B is
defund
F the blue,
police. Yeah.
no matter who, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's wrong too. That's your only two camps. And this goes back to our society, the society as a whole, and how we're going so far apart and so extreme in the only acceptable opinions. Look, police officers are necessary. Police officers should be highly trained, highly skilled. They should be paid very well. They should undergo extreme the process of weeding out people who could potentially become embroiled in controversies like this.
Mm-hmm.
There should be the standards set forth by the state, by the county, and by the town police departments, all involved, should be so high that this never happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And you've got the back the blue no matter who screaming at the F the blue no matter who, and I'm sitting here in the middle with you and
a lot of other
people that are just like, okay, well, first of all, police officers, the department should never ever be able to investigate themselves.
Right.
If there is a wrongdoing, you should be able to hold the individual police officer accountable and sue them, not the department.
Yeah, there's definitely a mixture of what I feel like is systemic problems in
100%.
policing and policy in policing.
100%.
And there's also problems with bad cops.
Yeah,
that
there
are
is.
just not good people
Yeah.
that don't need to be in any way given that kind of authority over another individual.
And that's a worldwide problem. That's
Right.
not just us in the United States. That's a worldwide problem. But police officers are a position now that is so important.
But also maligned.
They should have, there should be systems in place to there should be systems in place where if a police officer has ever been reprimanded for a use of force violation, anything like that, they should never be able to work in law enforcement ever again. Full stop. That's a big opinion, but I stand by it 100%. Because if I'm in the banking industry...
I don't know about that. I mean,
No, dude, if I'm in the banking industry and I get caught embezzling $70 billion, you better bet your ass I'm never working in the banking industry ever again.
right, but one abuse of force allegation, one. I mean, there's also a lot of pansies and a lot of people who intentionally go after.
No, not allegation.
Okay.
Disciplinary action.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's investigated, determined to be actual.
Not allegation.
Yes.
No. Everybody gets their due process.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I can get down with that.
Not. Everybody has their supposed to have their due process.
Yeah, and also people, unfortunately, sometimes you just have a bad day, and you're fed up, and you're,
I guess
police
I said
officers.
use of force incident, which
Right.
that was maybe a poor choice of words, but I mean investigated, determined by a third party, not by the department, not by internal affairs, but a third party that is completely impartial, that was an excessive use of force. They're done.
Yeah. Okay.
If that were the case, you bet your ass there'd be a lot less police officers
right.
engaging in
So let me
unscrupulous
ask you
behavior.
this: do you, by what you see there,
Mm-hmm.
do you see?
I have no idea. I can't make heads or tails of what's going on.
Yeah, I
there.
can't either.
So
That's
I'm
that's
not
my whole
gonna-
point. I'm not going to make some
Yeah.
strong opinion on something I don't have enough evidence to.
I do.
Now there are people online that have
very much so.
strong
Very much so.
opinions.
Here's the thing: from the minute go, and again, I'm not a cop. I've not been trained to be a police officer to think like a police officer. But if somebody is unresponsive, if all that was true, that right there that makes every bit of it wrong, 100%. That's my opinion. If they come up and they observe and they are told that this person is not responding, he's twitching, his eyes are bugged out, that's a medical emergency. That is not a criminal
I go back
matter
to
anymore.
this too. Let's not just talk about the cops, the individuals themselves, because they're responding. They got sent out. Hey, there's some guy parked in the.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably thinking, if they were not told the correct information, then they're even if it was given to them
Sure.
that description, they're like, okay, well the guy's probably high, or the guy's probably doing drugs. They're going to be their first. I guarantee you that was their first.
Yeah, for sure.
If what was told to them, I have no idea what was told to them, but if that somebody told me that, I would be thinking either one of two things: either it's a medical emergency or they're sick. If that was me in that situation, I'd have been like, well, send an ambulance, because they send an ambulance when a kid scrapes their knee, dude.
I know. If they
That's
use
the other
the term unresponsive or not responding, if they used that verbiage when they called the police department and they did not send out EMS, that's bad. That's bad.
Well, what they called is communications, which
I
is
know.
a So
I know.
So
I'm
it's. I guess my question is it would have been just up to the police department to call. It would have been
100%. It would have. If they called communications and said, "Hey, we've got this guy here," and they used the verbiage, he is not responding, he's twitching, and what was that? His eyes are bugged out.
So is communications a part of the police department? I guess part of the sheriff's department.
It's part of emergency services, emergency management.
Okay, so they should have sent an ambulance, right?
Well-
not necessarily just the cops. I mean, the cops probably should have too, but
Yeah, I would say the dispatch probably had some discretion there. I don't know that for sure, so don't come at me online. I don't know 100%, but I would say the dispatch probably had some discretion.
yeah. See,
there.
I have quite. Yeah, I need to know that
I would
first
need to know
too.
that. I would also need to know if the cops were told that they were responding to someone and they used those exact words. Me, if I were a police officer, I would have immediately requested for
Or at
EMS.
communications, you would have requested. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I would have requested for EMS.
But again, I go back again. The thing that I say is like the one thing I do know for sure is they literally send an ambulance and probably a fire truck. I know when I called one day because I accidentally locked Ryder in the truck when he was a baby. It was a complete and total accident. We were at the little, I think it was we were at some little play place, and he wasn't like a baby. He was like a early toddler probably. So he was just, it was fine outside. It was like 50 degrees outside. The truck was on, so the heat was on. He was fine. Like, and I was like, look, you don't have to blow up the world over this. It's fine. My God, it was 4 fire trucks, 2 ambulances, police,
Right.
all this, and I'm like, and all they did, the guy from the sheriff's department just came over here, and this is an old Nissan Frontier truck. They jimmied the lock, and I got him right out. It took him 10 minutes.
Right.
He was literally alone in that car for probably 15 minutes, but the entirety of emergency services showed up over that.
Yeah. And
So
that was-
why would you not
It was
call-
probably dispatched out as that.
Right.
So here's my question to Walmart: why did they call communications and not call 911? Or no, did they call communications? Because 911 would go to communications to dispatch.
I guess so. I think it's one and the same.
It is. So did they call communications or did they call the police department?
I don't know. Can we go back and well, we ain't got time to do that. I wouldn't worry about that. But
So, and here's the thing: before y'all come at us online with your little keyboards and whatnot,
you're being a lot more provocative over this than I am.
you got to remember, we're just talking. We're just talking, and you know, we're having the same conversations that y'all are having in your home,
No,
whether you want to admit it or not.
No, I was gonna say I'm proud of us. This is this is the discussion that doesn't happen on Facebook.
Right. This is the discussion that people are having in their homes, but
Right.
not online. The discussion online is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, because it's everybody with real strong opinions and close ties to the situation.
Yes.
Screaming at each other.
Exactly.
Is what it is. And now I heard, oh my God, this started to get wrapped into it. One thing I read today. Oh, it's all these ruling families and they've been in power for centuries. And I'm like, oh, jeez. We're going to bring Yes Ollie into it now.
Well, of course.
You know, I mean, like, they're out for blood and to burn the county to the ground now, you know, over this.
As far as this situation, like I have everything I've expressed tonight has been a generalization and an opinion on the institution of policing at large, generally in the country.
Yeah, I have no idea how the Spruce Pine Police Department is run from the inside.
I don't either.
At all. I have no idea what the procedures are. I'm making completely.
I have no idea what happened in this situation. All I have is some very grainy footage where it looks like dude was in his car, they rolled up, they shine their flashlights in, they open the door, they drag him out of the car, they get him on the ground, they punch him a few times, they get him in cuffs. One officer is kneeling next to him or on him, don't know which one it is, while the other one searches his vehicle.
Yeah.
That's what we saw.
With no audio.
With no up close
view of anything.
It was dark. We couldn't see how he was fighting back. We couldn't see if he was fighting back. We couldn't see what he was doing. We had no idea what the subject was doing. All we could see is some grainy movement.
Yeah.
So,
and I have sympathy for everybody that was involved here. It's obviously a lot of these situations.
Maybe I won't say that.
Well, maybe I should reserve judgment for that too.
I'm going to. I'm going to reserve judgment.
So,
on that.
but I don't think it would surprise me if 2 local cops here in town showed up one day looking to beat somebody up. I don't think that's what's going on here.
Right.
Now, were there missteps, and should it have been handled differently? Probably.
More than likely,
that's going to end up being the case.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I told somebody today, like, if I was on the town, like, if I was on the town council, this is how I would frame this. Is like, what we're going to do is use this as an opportunity to look at the department as a whole. Mm-hmm. And then I suggested to you that we hire an outside consultant, and then you sent me a video that made me think.
Yeah. What did you think
maybe
about
we should
that?
be very selective
What'd
of
you
the
think
outside.
about that?
That was pretty bad. You should link that video on the bottom of this.
I'm
so
going to.
That's too long for us to watch.
It
but
is.
It was,
So basically, the long and short, the TLDR.
shout out, what's this guy's channel? Shout out to this guy's channel.
Oh, yeah, the Civil Rights Lawyer.
Civil Rights Lawyer. Great channel. I've checked out some of his other videos, too.
Yeah, and he's fair. He's fair. He gives a fair assessment.
Yeah, and going
of the
over and check
situation.
his stuff out because it's really good.
Yep. He is not anti-cop. He's pro-freedom.
Right.
I love his little moniker at the end of it. It's like, remember, freedom's scary, deal with it.
Right.
And it is. It is. Freedom is scary. But because that brings in a whole like concept of personal responsibility.
Right.
But anywho, without getting into all that, the TLDR about this company is there was a company formed by former police officers that was a consulting and training company, and it was in New Jersey. Is that right?
I think so.
I think it was in New Jersey. They were a Jersey-based company, I believe. So they had a conference where this company has trained 25,000 cops nationwide. 25,000 cops
That's a lot.
have been in their program.
Yeah.
Nationwide. Their program is disgusting. It is a dumpster.
So they had some people that went on the inside to film.
Yep.
And it's very
investigative journalists. That's some real journalism. Right
that's real journalism.
Real journalism.
Like, I mean, these guys were sitting on like the front row.
Yeah.
So there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like essentially like it was
a production.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
Shout out to their camera because it was great.
It was who done it? It was the New Jersey District Attorney's Office that investigated them. That's who started this whole thing. But anyway.
But it's like some of the things that they are saying are now it could be selectively edited. I mean, but these weren't really edited together clips that I heard.
No, they weren't.
Some of the statements that were being made were disgusting and just completely.
I didn't see a statement that wasn't disgusting.
No, but we didn't see the whole video either. No, I mean, we need to see the entire thing.
The whole video is available online.
Okay.
The whole thing.
I didn't go and watch that, but
it is available. I need to watch that.
But even some of the things that I heard on there, it's like, wait a minute, this is not the way any police officer should ever be trained to think about fellow human beings.
No, they're not.
I mean, it's like they're automatically treating people like scum. And it's like, look, at the end of the day,
that's why
that should be the number one thing that you need to be a cop is a respect for humanity and understanding that people are in difficult situations. People don't always do things just because they're a stone hard criminal.
Dude, people call the police when they're having the worst day of their life.
Right.
People call an ambulance. People go to the hospital when they're having the worst day of their life. People need emergency services when it's the worst day of their life.
Right.
And then you're going to show up and act like those cops on not the video, the local cops, but the Jersey cops that were showing, dude.
Yeah, make sure we link the video in that because that was very eye-opening. I was very much like, wow.
Yeah.
That
it's a big problem,
crazy,
man.
Yeah.
And this you can't have this well, you can, but the conversation gets so sidetracked by the extreme sides that any real meaningful change is never going to happen.
Right.
And that's what's sad. That's what scares me about this whole situation.
And I wish people would just man, y'all need to do better online. Like, trying to drag it into this whole thing where it's like, oh my God, the whole county's like, dude, I don't care. Even if there's some local politicians that I don't particularly care for.
Well, sure.
Like,
there's local people that I don't particularly care for, and there's people that don't particularly care for me. That's fine.
But I'll be honest with you, even the worst ones that I know are pretty good people. I just don't really care for their political takes,
right?
Or I find their personality maybe a bit abrasive, but I don't have any reason to hate them or think that they're screwing me over.
Right.
I've seen no evidence, even in my little slight foray into flirting with local politics. I have seen nothing that would rise to the level of like institutional corruption in some of this. Do I think certain entities maybe have a vying interest in certain topics, absolutely. But that's every local. That's government from anywhere, from the local level to the thing. People are going to say, but trying to tie this whole unfortunate incident into this larger discussion, to me, Josh is representative of the bullshit we went through last year.
Yeah.
And my God, can we please just not go back there again?
Oh, we're going to.
Oh, it's absolutely going to, and it's going to get. And what scares me the most about this is it's going. I mean, it's going to get all tied up in the election. This is just, we're already down a bad road.
Yeah,
and we need to turn around.
We're doomed. I have a very pessimistic view of it. We are doomed. Our country is never coming back from this. Never.
As we know it. Probably, but will the country burn to the ground? I'm not convinced. I think we're largely. You do understand that we, like Ralph said, and I heard another person say this week. Like, we've been pretty divided before. Civil War, ring a bell.
Yeah.
It's not like this is people act like this is. Oh my God, we're but we're at each other's throats more than ever before. Well, we have a civil war.
Well, we are. I wish I would have pushed back a little bit then, but I was again in brain fog, and I'm not able to think clearly when I'm on SSRIs, or at least quickly. But I would push back. I think we are divided more now than we ever have been, and the divide is getting wider and wider and wider and wider, with no tolerance for middle ground. No tolerance for middle ground. You can't be like, well, I see this side and I see that. I see parts of both sides. There is very little to any tolerance.
I don't know, but like the guy that runs the biggest podcast on earth is pretty tolerant.
He is.
Some of the people that I would argue are the biggest media influencers out there are pretty tolerant. So I don't know, man. I'm hesitant to go down those roads saying like, oh, we're because.
Yeah.
Also, to me, it's more nuanced than that. I think I think there's certain things where I think there's certain topics where we're more divided than we probably ever have been.
Sure.
And then there's some topics, honestly, that used to divide us entirely that I think people have largely got a little more lax on.
Well, let me tell you where I'm coming from and why I think this. Okay. Why we're so divided. Well, one of the good illustrations on how divided we are. Team Red, Team Blue. Team Blue, my democracy. We're a democracy. Team Red, we're a constitutional republic. We don't live in the same realities, bro.
Yeah, that is two very different things.
Those are two very different things.
Yeah.
And they're both describing the same country. That can't be.
Well, it's a democratic republic.
It is.
And so you got one that's more...
But here's the thing, though. You've got half the nation thinking it's just a straight democracy, and the other half thinking it's just a straight constitutional republic. And that, to me, is a symptom of a bigger problem, that the two factions don't live in the same realm. Their view of government and the view of the role of government to them are mutually exclusive. Mm-hmm. Or it's a dichotomy that cannot
I will say that when you hear your more left-leaners talk, your prominent left-wing voices that I actually still respect intellectually. I hate to say that, but it's just I hate to. Sorry, the left has gone batshit.
Dude, the right has
the progressive. They have to.
They have.
But in particular, the progressive wing of the liberal. Half of this country has gone bananas. And I honestly, that's so far out there that I can't even, I'm not even going to, I'm not even going to give it the benefit of giving it a response because it's ridiculous.
Because the moderates allow it. And they pander to it. The moderate left, left panders to it. The moderate left allows it. The moderate left has let the left run amok. And
that's true. No, that's largely true. That's largely true. But I guess who I'm thinking about is like Mark Cuban. Mm-hmm. He tended to be more of a left-leaner guy in his. And I heard him talk. I heard him on Lex Friedman, and it's like the way that he views some of the things that I would say are hot topics of discussion, like freedom of speech, things of those things. He's very dismissive of those things, and to me, that's very different than the right is. It's very different, and it's like they're arguing two different in two different worlds.
I remember when I brought up abortion. It's not the same argument.
Yeah.
It's not the same. And you'll find most, especially with social issues,
that is true.
They're not having the same arguments.
No.
They're both arguing totally different things. And it's like until you can come together and argue at least the same reality, but we're not going to go anywhere but nowhere good. We're not going to go anywhere good. I really do. I really believe that. And that opinion is subject to change, and I hope it does change.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude,
I still say, like I've said before, I do see some things. It does appear that there's people and institutions that are beginning to open their eyes.
Well, I won't even say open their eyes. They're starting to grow some balls because they held these opinions the whole time. But they've been afraid.
Yeah.
They've been afraid. And rightfully so, because, I mean, in the past, if you express the wrong opinion, you still to this day. I may get a call tomorrow from Spelco and be like, well, we don't like your opinion on this, and you're fired.
Right.
That's actually, I think that may be in my contract. I need to look at that. Probably should look that up. I'm going to edit that out about my company's name, too. I don't want that to be in there. But, anywho, I don't know, man. It's... Until both sides of the divide are living in the same reality, nothing is going to get fixed. And I do believe that this is all by design to keep us fighting while the ruling class, while the political class rob the ship as it sinks.
Yeah.
Plunders as the ship goes down.
God, you're always so rosy, dude.
Well,
I love coming over and
until
having a
they
good
prove me wrong.
Couple-hour discussion with old Josh and leave just on a cheery, bright note.
That's like watching the fall of Rome, but with Wi-Fi.
Right. Love it.
What do you think about the eclipse? I was
survived.
disappointed.
We survived.
We did. It wasn't the end of the world.
No.
Like every other
It was
time.
not. That's a good thing. We did survive.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was cool. I would have liked to have been in the totality. I think that would have been really cool.
I was pretty disappointed. It was cloudy. I couldn't see nothing.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't. We went out to Little Switzerland, and we figured out I didn't quite raw dog it like I said we were going to do, but we could wear some polarized shades and look through. Ironically, Laura happened to notice that the window shade on my truck is like also like real tinted.
Yeah.
And so we would look through that, and when you looked with the polarized glasses and through that, you could see it really good out there. But we just happened to hit it right at the time. There was a little bit just of a break in the clouds. I mean, it wasn't completely unobstructed, but it was good enough to see it, you know.
I didn't see any of it, unfortunately. But, you know, I saw the one in 2017 really well because I was at work that day, and we went and borrowed some of the maintenance guys' welding hoods or welding masks, and wore them and got to watch it.
Still,
it was great. It was great. I mean, you could.
It'd be so funny to see a bunch of guys in welded hoods
just staring at the
sky.
That's what it was. We all went outside. And I was a little disappointed that it didn't get dark this time because in 2017 it legit got dark.
Oh, it legit darked. Yeah,
but this time it was like it just kind of looked gray and cloudy outside for a minute. That was it. And then the sun come out again.
It was actually a little more than I anticipated it to be.
Really?
Yeah, it was a good 85%. You know,
I guess I was expecting it more to be like the 2017.
Yeah, it was like we were in near totality then. Like it was.
Where
like,
was totality?
Over Mexico, parts of Texas, Indiana, and all the way up into Maine. I believe.
Right.
So it's kind of that direction. So.
Well, cool.
I saw some really cool photos of it rolling in from Lake Champlain. And, in I guess is that in New York? Where's the whole, not Nessie, but it's America's Nessie?
I have no idea.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Have I
What's
ever
they
told you
call
about
it?
the time I met the Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah, he asked you for tree fitty.
Yeah, I gave him $1.
Need about a tree fitty?
I gave him $1.
I gave him $1.
Why would you give him $1? He's going to assume you got more.
God dang Loch Ness Monster.
Oh God,
love that.
I love South Park. But yeah, we're still here. It was not the end of the world. It wasn't
Nope.
the apocalypse. The rapture didn't happen.
Nope.
Funny how it never does.
Yeah.
The end of the world never comes, no matter how bad people want it to. And I would argue now, and this is a topic for another discussion.
We're not that lucky.
I would argue that there are people in positions of power, especially in countries that I shall not name, that are actively trying to make that happen.
Yeah.
They read the scriptures and they read the prophecies, and they're like, hey, well, if we just do all this stuff, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Wonder if they ever think that the world also ends for you too, pal. But you go supposedly to some paradise or something.
Right,
I guess, huh?
sure,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
I want to go to paradise someday, Josh. You want to go with me?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Mexico City.
Let's do it now.
Let's go.
When do you get out of here?
All righty. Mexico City it is.
Mexico. Just don't eat the street food. Boom.
Oh, man. Let's see. We've been going hour 42. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get out of here, brother. My
Yeah, I hear
freaking
you.
back is hurting, dude. I've been having these catches in my back for some reason. I don't know what it is, but after a while, it just gets. I'm fine in the mornings now, but there for a couple of days, dude, it was killing me.
Really?
Yeah, but I get them in. What my back pain always goes like this. I get a cat. I'll like do some dumb thing. I'm not even picking something up. I'm just like I think this one started when I was picking up something from a to-go window, and I turned like this, the hand, and it threw my back out. And I'm like, oh God. And so then I have this weird catch where I'm like having to be real, and then I'll like turn accidentally the wrong way. And then after it stops doing that, I get a couple of like restless nights, and then after it stops doing that, it just gets really sore for some reason. I don't know. I think it's where I'm compensating to try to not catch the thing. Whatever.
Probably. That sucks, man. I hope you feel better.
Well, I mean, you're the one going through surgery.
I'm all right. I'm fine.
I love the fact that you're getting it over, both of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get it done and over with.
Yeah.
And everybody, please share, like, subscribe, and listen.
Yes.
We don't hate cops. I don't hate people. I really, truly hate nobody. I hate no group or
No, I'm proud of us. I think we had a very nuanced discussion on that. That's the discussion that needs to be had.
It really is. It really is. I reserve my judgment on this situation. I saw some things that I wasn't a fan of, but I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there.
I do wish we could get Jimmy on to.
Yeah.
I know Jimmy's been real busy lately, but Jimmy has some good.
Has
his
some good
father's
insights.
a cop, so he has some good insights on that. So.
Yep.
But
yeah, everybody, like, share, subscribe. Leave us a comment and tell us how you think we're wrong, and make sure that you give us lots of insults and ad hominem attacks in there. That really helps our algorithm. Helps us out in the algorithm.
If you're going to hate us on YouTube, please.
Yeah. Or on Facebook. Hate us on Facebook too. Any kind of engagement is fantastic. We love it.
Yep.
Because it only makes us tiny amounts of dollars. Actually, none right now. None. We could make $10,000 over the next year and I'd still be in the red, but that's okay. We love you all. Peace out.
Peace.